going? The three of you?
Four, yeah.
Four. Okay, yeah. Well, come on.
Thank you.
So we take on the excess food from the vendor. So the farmers market is a great partner for us, and there's so many different partners at the farmers market because it's all the different individual farms, and they bring their products to the market every week. And there's a bit of a cycle, so they do a few different markets, and then at the end of the week, when everything that they haven't sold, we'll go and we'll pick up, and then we'll bring it back to our facility here, and then we'll bag it up and we'll get it out to different food banks. So today we sent it out, that farmers market produce, to 5 different food banks in our morning. Our drivers are just getting back right now. So it's a great partnership to take on that excess food that the vendors at the farmers market either don't want to bring back to the farm with them, or they didn't sell. It wouldn't be good until the next week, and we can get it out to someone that could use it. Yeah, so we have great donor partners, from the world's largest company, Amazon, to a small mushroom farm, to a chain of bakeries, to different retailers, grocery stores, everything from caterers, so many hotels, stadiums. So it's everything from a small store to a large warehouse, and we kind of work with all these different sized partners and companies.
Environment?
On the environment, well, we take things that would be destined for landfill. So things that would may have been thrown out, whether it's products like goods or household goods, or food, right? So food that maybe hasn't sold, instead of it going to waste or compost, we can get it out for nourishment for people. So a lot of energy goes into the production of food, and we make sure that effort gets to people from the nourishment from the food. So things that would maybe not be used or left over from a catering company or a hotel or a stadium, that's still good food, and we can get that to shelters that would serve that food to people. So we divert it from waste. We're this year, 2024. We're over 100,000 pounds, probably 150. We'll rescue this year and distribute $1.6 million of bread. Last week we took on 40,000 pounds of potatoes with some other partners, and then this week we're getting 30,000 pounds of cucumber. So sometimes it's, it could be from a small vendor at a farmer's market, or from a large greenhouse, or a large farm elsewhere in the country. So we can help if they have excess food at the farm, we can bring it here, and then we can get it out to different food banks as well. So, but it's our impact of agricultural product. It'll be over 100,000 pounds this year. I can introduce you over email.
Oh yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Yes, I am. Hi. Nice to meet you. Yeah, of course. So I think for as long as I've been a scientist, I worked on, my topic is not really indoor agriculture as such, it's more plant stress. So my group is interested in how plants respond to stressors, how they can acclimate to stress, so overcome the challenges of the stressor, and even in long terms, can they adapt? Can they change their genetics and their physiology to be better adapted to a stressful environment? We also work with plants. I do have projects with plants which are important for agriculture. We work with, for example, barley. It's a very common crop that is not grown indoors. It's an outdoors crop, but it's important for Canada. We work with strawberries, which is another crop that can be grown both indoors and outdoors. And we also work with cannabis, which is legal in Canada, and it's becoming sort of an important crop species. Same thing, it can be grown outdoors in large batches, but a lot of growers grow it indoors, so there's quite a lot of that too. So those are, at the moment, our current species of interest. environments. So indoor grow spaces are commercialized as being these optimal conditions that you will get the best crop, the best yield, the most biomass, or whatever the growers are interested in. But what we're finding, and I think if you dig a little bit deeper into the literature, is that always comes as a cost, either energy cost from those people that make the farms or run them for commercial purposes. They have to put in energy, they have to pay the electricity bill in order to get that ultimate ideal environment for the plant. So we do try to figure out for each individual plant what is the optimal conditions and how we can make that plant produce the best in that particular environment. I think you hear more about that in the context of climate change. So even our outdoor agriculture that was working perfectly fine, a couple of decades ago, even that agriculture is running into problem with droughts and pests and all sorts of things. So I think there's a lot more emphasis on indoors because you can control a lot of the external environment. You can control for pests and things like that. So I think it's going to become more and more important. I've heard some very interesting, just from newspapers and things like that, people exploring even environments which are not hospitable right now. So in Canada we have, for example, the northern communities where growing the food up north is really challenging. They don't have much of a growth season. You can't get many plant species to grow up there. Food costs is really high because everything has to be imported. So there's even talk about those types of inhospitable environments, whether they're cold environments or maybe further south there's a lot of hot environments that are not suitable for plants. Can you get an indoors environment that can really achieve growing plants and getting some products there? So I think it will become more and more important as we grow as a society and as the engineering sort of catches up to the outdoor agriculture. But also I think it's important to do it in a very clever way because like we talked in your question, right? There's a lot of costs, a lot of energy. That energy has to come from somewhere. So we're trying to fight climate change but avoid contributing more to it. So yeah, I think it's going to become more and more important to sort of summarize, but it has to be done in a clever way. I personally think so. I think with a lot of, especially with micro farms, that anybody can put on their roof or in their little garden. And I think a lot of people, this is just anecdotal from my circle of friends and family, a lot of people are really interested in how to grow plants. Can I build a little greenhouse? Can I have my little crop so that I don't have to depend so much on buying food and things like that? Absolutely. I think people like plants. I think in general, people recognize that plants are really the basis of our food supply. So I think citizen science is going to become really, really important to kind of figure out whether indoor growth environments are feasible on the small scale.
But do you think that indoor farming you started can be applied into this kind of everyday urban agriculture in like Seoul or Korea or just other urban areas?
I think so. I think there's a lot of. I think maybe Canada is a little bit different than Korea because Canada has a lot of open spaces. So there's a lot of space to grow. First of all, the greenhouses, but also outdoor agriculture. I mean, the prairies are essentially all just farmland. I think there's quite a lot of push for citizens to contribute to anything that has to do with energy saving or sustainable practices to produce food, to get rid of wastes and things like that. So I think there's quite a lot of push to do that, and agriculture is just one aspect of that. So once again, I don't, as a plant scientist, I don't feel 100% qualified to answer that question, but I think the answer is yes.
Well, we came to get our regular specific items, which is bread and kimchi.
Kimchi? Oh, really?
Really.
What you're going to do with kimchi?
We eat it. We love it. It's great.
Oh.
And this is like the best place to find
Oh.
decent
Yeah.
kimchi to eat.
Oh, it's very interesting.
Yeah, this-
Well, we still get most of our groceries from places like that. However,
But like stuff like kimchi that we buy, you can only find it here, especially in this quality.
yeah, well, you can find it. We have bread too. You can find it in other stores, but it's just not the same quality. Well, I guess if we're buying kimchi, there must be some role here.
I'll say that.
No.
We've watched some events. We've watched some music, and I guess we spent some time looking at events like
I guess,
wood
yeah, the
turning.
wood turner skill and stuff.
Yeah, 'cause it depends on the event, I guess. Just haven't been here at the right time. Well, food is really the draw for us.